Guys, you're currently watching a clip from our weekly podcast, Never Onside. The full podcast is available in audio format on Spotify and in video format on YouTube. So go subscribe to us and press on the notifications. It helps us a lot. Thank you.
To another episode of Never Onside. After a week of postponements, we are back, and European nights were interesting as well. So, as usual, we are back, and we have Mayur with us. So, without much to do, let's start with our podcast. Yeah, so we'll go through a review of all the matches which happened in the Champions League. We'll start off with the Tuesday night matches in which Inter 1-0-2 and Tottenham lost 2-0 to Sporting. It was a very impressive performance by Sporting, right?
Yes. So it reminded me of the Tuchel game plan against Spurs, if you remember, where they overloaded the two holding midfielders for Spurs, and the forward also dropped deep. They outnumbered them 3 versus 2. So that was kind of the same tactic which the Sporting team went for, and they successfully, again we saw how contest teams can be stopped. How and they exactly played as their plan, and they successfully came out with the result.
Yes.
So, any thoughts about Son's form currently? Many of the forums saying Son should be dropped, and Perisic is interfering within the Son area, which generally Son likes to operate.
Yeah, yeah. I think that sync between Perisic and Son is not there. Very similar kind of players in the sense that they attack from the left and move inside. And I've noted that a lot of the times Perisic don't pass to Son, and Son doesn't pass to Perisic, and like they both of them look for Kane most of the times. Yeah, so that is an issue, and I think Son is down in confidence. Something is troubling him. It looks like that because last season he had such a great season and he got won the Golden Boot. And this season, I think Perisic coming in has definitely hampered his performances. I wouldn't say like Conte should drop a Son, but he should tweak his system so that these guys don't overlap in the same positions because both play in a similar role. Like they would ideally play from the left to inside the penalty box. So that is an issue which is there, which I'm sure Conte will have to figure out. Speaking of Son, Richarlison has been impressive, right?
Yes. Yes, he has
So
been quite
Richarlison,
impressive. Yes, coming into good areas, assisting Kane very well. So they just have been missing a bit of creativity, which Kulusevski might add to it. So yeah,
yeah.
Richardson, Kulusevski, and Kane, all three have been very good compared to Son this season.
Yeah, if Son gets dropped or rested for one match in the Premier League, then Richa will start probably and Kulusevski on the right. So that
Yeah.
is
So
something we'll
yeah.
keep an eye on because I doubt if Conte will drop Son altogether. Yeah, moving forward, Liverpool won 2-1 in the Wednesday, like the late night match. And this was a match in which Liverpool started really well. They scored initially, and then Ajax got back into the game, and then they were lucky to get away with all 3 points. Right, Matip's header in the end.
I wouldn't say lucky, but we saw a bit of the old Liverpool, which when they had Thiago in center, Matip in defense. So definitely, it was an improved performance if you look at the performance which they have been giving recently. Very dreadful.
Jota coming back
Yes,
is
Jota
also
coming
a
back as well.
big thing. He dropped into spaces between the lines and created a lot of problems. But this is not an imperious performance by Liverpool. But from their form right now, Klopp would have been happy that he got a win at the end, and that too, a win like that can kick off their season as well. Yeah. So Leverkusen won 2-0 against Atletico Madrid,
Yeah.
and Club Brugge won 4-0 against Porto, and Bayern versus Barcelona match was 2-0. I'm sure most of us would have watched that match. right?
Yes, yes, definitely. The game of the night,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it
we shall
was.
discuss it in a bit more detail once we
Yeah,
go
yeah,
through
we will,
all
we
these
will,
games.
we will. Yeah, and in Thursday night matches, we had Napoli winning 3-0 against Rangers. Chelsea and Salzburg match was also one which we had a spotlight on, which will also come back in the later slides. And Real Madrid winning 2-0 against Leipzig.
Yeah.
And,
So the Madrid game, just to add to the Madrid game, I still think they are clearly missing Benzema. They scored their goals in the 79th and 90th minute yesterday, and in the first half they didn't create many chances for
mm,
even for the first 75 minutes. Clearly missing Benzema. His link up play, he drops behind, links up, and enables Vinicius to run on that flank. So clearly missing that a lot. But shout out to Chouameni. He has been really impressive. I was always a bit dicey on his form since Casemiro left. Would he be able to fill those shoes? But the more I see Chouameni playing, the more I adore him. The way he likes to take the balls from opponents and just he's just a machine, and he has definitely impressed me. So Chouameni is a
yeah.
player to look out for.
Yeah, speaking of machines, Man City won 2-1 thanks to Norwegian Cyborg, as they call him. What was that? What was that goal? Like,
Freakish goal.
like Slatanish goal, I guess. He can do everything.
Everything.
Like
The
we are lost for
not just the
words.
goal, not just the goal, the assist too from Cancelo. What a ball it
Oh,
was.
outside of the
So
like,
when the ball came in, I thought, oh, what an assist! Surely he should score, and I thought he will go for a header. But then to see that and Haaland putting his foot so high, that's why we kept
yeah.
that as the initial picture of our podcast. So very impressed by that goal. And
I
overall,
don't think.
yes,
Yeah, I don't think like most of the strikers would reach that. Even I don't think the trajectory of the ball wasn't like that you can head it in. It was going outside on the far post. So he had to put his foot in. It's just his athleticism which got him there. And the first goal from Stones was also a brilliant goal. But for me, I would expect the goalkeeper to at least put an arm
I
and like at least touch the ball. He was clueless. He was standing like this, and then his hand was like this. So I was surprised. Maybe he wouldn't have seen the ball coming in
taken
between the
aback from
defender.
the
Yeah,
distance which Stones tried to shoot from. But yeah,
yeah,
Dortmund played well in the first half. They were very compact,
yeah, yeah,
gave
they were
City a lot of tough time to figure their things out, and Grealish was very bad.
passive.
Yeah, didn't
Yeah,
have a single impression with him.
he took a lot of time to shoot. Like he would do an inside cut, then again an inside cut. By that time, two defenders would be on him, and like I couldn't see him post a shot because it was all blocked by the defenders. And Dortmund were all over City in most of the 75 minutes. Like that was not a vintage City performance by any means, because they weren't winning back the balls until the first goal went in. Like the City first goal went in, that is when they kicked on. And like Pep knew it. Pep knew as soon as the Stones goal went in, Pep started celebrating. I wouldn't expect Pep to celebrate, but he did celebrate. He knew that they are done. Dortmund is done. So
That
he,
was that was
yeah,
kind of a vintage Madrid performance. You get
yeah.
dominated most of the game and you come out with winning goals. Yeah, so
75th minute, like that meme that is around for Madrid. Yeah.
yes.
So
Again, Sevilla, who has been struggling in La Liga as well, the struggle still continue, and again they are dropping more points. Yeah, so one team to look out for might be they might be planning a Europa League win. You never know. They love that competition, and they might be just planning to go into Europa directly. So you never know.
right. And PSG won 3-1. This was what do they call him? Call them
Haifa,
MNM? MNM?
Haifa. I am not sure about the initial, but Haifa.
Messi,
Oh,
Neymar,
oh,
Mbappe, MNM,
Eminem,
MNM. Yeah,
Eminem. Yes,
they
yes,
call him vintage MNM
yes.
performance. Yeah, and all three scored. And Messi assisted Mbappe, Mbappe assisted Messi,
Yes.
I
And
guess.
Vitinha, Variety assisted Neymar.
Yeah, that was a gorgeous ball as well. Yeah, so Paris looks sorted.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Um,
say sorted. The first half wasn't a smooth sail, but yeah, they showed their quality against less
they conceded first, and then I think Mbappe scored, and then
Messi scored.
Paris had a lot of chances. Like they
Yes,
did have
yes.
a lot of chances. So let's see how they play against big sides.
Napoli will be a good test. Not Napoli,
Yes.
Benfica will be a good test. Sorry.
Mm.
Moving on to
Yeah.
saying about Benfica. Benfica won their game against Juventus. Again, surprising. Juventus losing, scored the first goal, a brilliant header from them, and then they went on to concede 2 goals. So Allegri not looking very good at like in his position. Surely needs to work on. There were quite a lot of people saying he needs to be sacked. So
Mm.
let's see. I'm not sure how things go, but yeah, Juventus not looking the best at the moment and risking maybe Europa again, exit to Europa League. And
Okay.
the Champions League game ended with Shakhtar Donetsk and Celtic drawing the game 1-1. So let's move on to the Barca Bayern game. So,
Yes.
host, did you watch the game?
Yeah, I did. I had two screens on. I watched this match. I was so impressed with the first half performance from Barcelona. I was thinking Mayur would be so happy now. Like, and you should have scored 3 goals,
Yes.
three easy goals. You should have scored. I had my one eye on the Liverpool match as well, and yeah. So yeah, take us through what happened because you would have been really disappointed.
So to sum up the first half, I would say Xavi was very brave. He went for a man-to-man marking. So in this picture also you can see clearly how all the players, Rafinha is standing here. It's Gavi who is pushing the other center back, Lewandowski in the center, Pedri here, and this is Busquets. Busquets has come up again. So you can
Mm.
clearly see the tactic in the first half was to press as high as possible. Don't give Bayern time. So how Bayern likes to play is they generally like to play from the center and attack from the center. So Xavi always wanted to cut off those passes from back itself. Whilst how Nagelsmann's setup was, he allowed Barca to build up their game in the first phase. He let Barca center backs have the ball. Sergio Busquets have the ball. He only tried to attack when they tried to when Barca tried to come out of their half. So that was Nagelsmann's technique, while Barca were pushing and trying to get ball off from the defenders itself. So what happened was there was no control technically, if you would see throughout the whole game, and which meant the position kept on changing, and all the major chances which came to Barca's end were all from possession change, as in the whole team pressed and they got the ball and then they made a turnover and that's how the chance went. So what happened is, due to this, there was a lot of fatigue, and you could clearly see Pedri being fatigued in the second half, right? So that is the whole first half scenario. Barca tried to press high; they weren't able to go through the center part of the Bayern team. Bayern also were successful in keeping Barca out, but all the chances which fell to Barca were from transitions. So definitely, as you said, we should have taken. If not Lewandowski, I am not sure who can score those goals. I had too much expectations,
Mhm.
but again, not Lewandowski, then who? But yeah, and in the second half, the pressure, as I said, fatigue came on. We saw the pressure being lessened as the time went on, and Bayern were given too much time to play through, and that's when they realized. And Nagelsmann made a minor tick. So initially, in the second picture, if you can see, on the right hand side there is Sane, there is Davis, and this is Musiala. So they tried to attack the right hand side or the wings, basically tried to overload the wings. And on the left hand side, you can see Mane in acres of space. This is Alonso,
Mhm.
who is his defender, who he should be defending. So they tried to overload a wing and tried to switch the game. So that was their whole thing: switch the game or go through middle, and that's how the second goal came, which just put us out of the game. We saw after that there was no coming back. Bayern just wanted to sit back and just let us have the ball and try to break their low block. So that's how game changed. We should have scored again if we would have scored in the first half maybe 1 or 2 goals, definitely it would have been a different game. But not everything was negative. Very well, like impressed by how Xavi was brave enough to go to a Bayern side, to press high and to take the
Yeah,
risk. So
definitely.
yeah, so overall very happy. But these are the minute things which we have been lacking for quite a while, like the finishing being a mentality point of thing. So I hope Xavi improves on that aspect as well.
Yeah. So I think Gavi and Pedri were almost everywhere in the first half, and they were winning balls so easy. I was so surprised that Bayern couldn't play through that press, and even someone like Neuer, who is comfortable with the ball, was struggling. He was kicking the ball out.
Yes.
He was like a Dahia at some point in time.
Yes.
So I was so surprised the way Barcelona won the ball at very crucial and very dangerous positions, and they would be kicking themselves for not winning the match in the first half itself, I'm sure. And speaking of Bayern, also, I think in the first half, the only problem that Barcelona faced was through Davis, who got the better of Rafinha throughout the first half, and like his pace was blinding, and you couldn't deal with him. That was the only outlet that they had. And in the second half, they completely destroyed Barcelona with their um, speed and skills. Yeah. So yeah, that is the Bayern versus Barca match. Let's move on to another very interesting topic right now, which is Chelsea under Potter. So we have all been surprised for the fact that Tuchel got sacked, and someone like a Potter who is used to managing somewhat of a relegation side 2 3 years ago, and
Yes.
he has been under the spotlight in the Premier League this season because of how well he has coached the team in the last 2 years, and how Brighton has gone toe to toe with even the top six sides or the top four sides. Even they thrashed United, and they are known for playing really fluid football. And Potter is especially known for his tactics, his flexibility as well. And right now, I saw an interview in which he was telling the interviewer that he has a master's in emotional intelligence. so so that is something that shows in the style of play he has, and how he gets players to perform more than what their caliber is. So so he is a coach who would get the best out of the players, and that is exactly what Chelsea side, which is underperforming, needs. If you check the Chelsea lineup, you would see Havertz and Aubameyang and Sterling. And then if you look at the bench, you will see someone like a Pulisic and also CH as well. So these players are not prolific goal scorers, or they are not in the form of their life right now. And this is exactly what Potter would be trying to exploit, because there is a lot of room for improvement from the side, from the players up front. So this is an issue which Tuchel also had. He built a solid back three, and the defensive unit was really strong. But moving forward, he couldn't get more goals. Even with Lukaku, also he struggled. So that is a issue that that Potter will also be facing, because what Potter is doing is not completely revamping or restructuring or completely eliminating what Tuchel did. He is trying to build on what Tuchel has done, because they are both coaches who work on a 3-4-3 system, and Potter is a very flexible and a very intelligent person as well. So he believes in something like empathy, responsibility, motivation, and building relationship in a team. Maybe that is what the Chelsea management wanted. A change from what the Ibrahimovic era had, to creating a team which will be stable, a manager which would be stable, who would have a very good impact on players, and he would stay there for a long project kind of target, which is not what we have seen in Chelsea in the past. So that is the only explanation for me why they took in Potter, and they clearly said that this is a regime change and they want someone who aligns with their philosophy as well. Yeah. So this is how
Yeah.
Chelsea. You want to add something?
Yeah. So also one more point, they also wanted someone who works with their youth, basically.
Yeah.
So Tuchel wasn't a very big fan of working with youth players, and we saw not many youth players coming through the ranks. Most of them were on loans. So this is also what I read. Todd Bowley also wanted to focus on its youth players. So who else than Potter, who knows how to work well with such youth players? Yeah. So let's go
Yeah.
on to the tactical part.
Yeah. So this is how they lined up for the match against Salzburg. It was a 3-4-3 with a diamond in midfield. And initially, also, we said that Potter would use Cucurella as a third center back and someone in the form of Silva Colobelli would lose their position most of the time when Cucurella comes in as a third center back. And this is exactly what we have seen. And Cucurella, Silva, and Aspilicueta are the three centre backs, with James and Sterling playing as wing backs. But this is not a conventional wing back system where Sterling is a winger when it comes to in the match. On paper, he looks like a wing back, but it's not like that. And this system is very flexible in terms that if James drops in, it will be a back four. So they have that flexibility. So what Potter was trying to do is he was trying to exploit the width on the sides, and that is what he will try to do. He will create overloads on the sides, and with Jorginho as a six and two number eights in the form of Kovacic and Mount, and then with Havertz and Aubameyang pressing in tandem, that is what his plan would be. You saw that James and Mount tried to overload the right side, while Sterling tried to isolate the fullback, and Cucurella tried to overlap with him. So they have a lot of options and a lot of way to get into the opposition penalty area. But the issue here is Havertz and Aubameyang the right players for cross, or they are not clinical finishers. I don't think they are. At least Aubameyang is past his prime to be a player who is playing in the system. Like Havertz is also an issue, and you saw that Pulisic and CH were almost bored to an extent, and I think Chelsea fans have lost patience with them, and that is only going forward, who is going to score them goals? That is the issue that I have. But right now, the first goal that they scored is from the right side, and Sterling, the ball was from the right side by James or Mount. I don't remember exactly whom. And Sterling went into the six in the penalty area and scored the goal. So they try to exploit the width, and what cost them the goal in their penalty box was also this width, because Sterling and Cucurella were out of position. They were creating width, but Salzburg, we know, is a team which is good in counter pressing, and they won back the ball. And when you are trying to create width and you lose the ball, that is a huge issue.
Yeah.
So that width is what got them the goal, and that width is what got them to concede the goal as well. So this is something which we will have to see. Potter will. I think he's a very intelligent coach, so he would figure out how to go through it, and the players would be also, adapting to the system. So, given time, I'm sure he will be successful, judging from what he has tried to do. Instead of completely revamping everything, he has gone with the base that Tuchel has provided. And even Broha came in, right, and he was more impressive than Havertz and Aubameyang combined, even though he just played around 20-25 minutes combined. So positive signs, but Potter will have enjoyed these days with the postponement in fixtures as well. So would have Eric Ten Hag. because they would have had the time to get all the first team players and explain to them what his plans are, and like get to do drills with the whole team, which they didn't get to do in the preseason because most of the players were missing in that. Yeah.